For those of you who bought a Mac, then regretted it because you actually wanted to play games, you're not out of luck. All of the games in this video can be played on both Mac and PC. Here are the top 5 free Mac games on Steam you don't know about. Estranged Act 1 is a first-person shooter Half-Life 2 mod about a lone fisherman stranded on a mysterious island during a violent storm. Much like the Half-Life games, the gameplay is centered around exploration, environmental puzzles, and combat. At first it appears you're the only person on the mysterious island, but as you progress you'll meet characters and discover things that start to uncover the mystery.
I thought everybody left.
Exploration is a core part of the game, as you'll often come across some impassable route and have to figure out a way to progress by searching around for things in the environment and using your wits. You'll want to keep your eyes peeled as there are different pickups that reward going off the beaten path. There's puzzles thrown in to break up exploration and combat that feels just like Half-Life 2, awkward melee attacks and all. There's some nice variety in the combat with close quarters pistol combat where you have to not waste ammo, as well as faster paced SMG combat. The sound design was surprisingly good, turning the game into more of a survival horror game at points, which kept me on edge. The game ends pretty abruptly since it is only Act 1, but I can't wait for Act 2 to come out. If you're looking for a polished explorative adventure FPS with an intriguing mystery-driven story or love Half-Life 2, then I recommend Estranged Act 1. Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle is a comedic slide puzzle game where you play as Jason in an effort to kill as many people as possible. The core gameplay is a slide puzzle, but there's so many other mechanics that make this game unique. In every level, the goal is to kill all of the required targets, which is usually everyone, and then finish off the final person who spawns in a predetermined location. When you kill the last person, you have to time your kill to get extra bloodlust, which is used to rank up. Ranking up lets you open a loot crate, which unlocks different weapons you can equip. You also unlock a new Jason costume every time you beat an episode's levels. Every episode adds in new mechanics to the slide puzzle gameplay that carry over into future levels, like these cops that can't be killed head-on, levels that have to be completed in a certain amount of moves, or phones that you can ring that attract adjacent people to the opposite phone. People will also run away from you when you're right next to them, allowing you to move them where you want if you move properly. If you're looking for a lengthy slide puzzle game with a lot of style and depth, then I recommend Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle. Jaded is a 2D action platformer where you fight and platform your way through a variety of different environments. The game is split into 2 types of gameplay, platforming and combat, though the platforming is heavily integrated into the combat and vice versa. You're able to attack in any direction, which is useful because of the different types of enemies you'll be dealing with. You're also able to slow down time and dash in any direction one time, which can be used to dash through enemies in combat or during platforming. There are green gems that can be collected mid-air that refill your dash charge, allowing you to chain multiple dashes together. The game also adds in a new mechanic in every level that change up gameplay, like this leaf that lets you hover, zip lines that move you from one point to another, or water that launches you out of it. There's new enemies in each level as well, to keep combat just as interesting as the brilliant platforming level design. Some fights are optional and enemies are just there to hinder your platforming, while other fights are required, locking you in a zone until you defeat all of the enemies. The game is still in early access, so enemies don't have sound effects and there's no story, but I'll definitely be buying the game when it's finished. If you're looking for an action platformer with fluid movement and excellent combat, then I recommend Jaded. The Navigator is a 2D puzzle platformer where you play as a young boy traveling through the high seas to align celestial rocks. You're armed with an anchor that acts as a hook, allowing you to climb between the different planets to reach the exit. Planets can also be pulled as long as the planet you're pulling is smaller than the one you're standing on. It's all about finding what order to pull the planets in so you can create proper angles for yourself to reach the exit. Later on, light sources are introduced which have to be pulled to the correct location to hit the sun in order for the exit to work. Moving between planets is pretty slow, but the soundtrack makes the game more relaxing than anything. If you're looking for a casual, relaxing puzzle game with a unique planet pulling mechanic, then I recommend The Navigator. Ora Kyubu is an atmospheric puzzle game about solving 2D puzzles in 3D spaces. You play as a circle who has to push all the boxes in a level into exit squares. We're all familiar with these slide type puzzles, but Ora Kyubu adds the creative twist of the puzzle taking place on a cube, meaning you have to move the camera around to see everything. Levels often have multiple cubes which can be moved around the environment, so you'll have to get your circle and box somewhere, move the cube, then transfer over to a connecting cube, sort of solving two puzzles simultaneously. It's a fairly simple concept, but it makes for some challenging puzzles as you have to think about the order in which to move both parts of the puzzle. If you're looking for a chill slide puzzle game with a unique 3D twist, then I recommend Ora Kyubu. One Big Mac bonus game! Ball at Work Ultimate Speedrun Platformer is a 2D platformer where you play as a ball jumping its way through an office to get the fastest times possible. The simple controls of just move and jump make for simple but satisfying weighty movement. Each level is timed, which makes it addicting to optimize your movements to figure out shortcuts as you try to get 3 stars on a level. You can interact with parts of levels to your advantage, like knocking down a shelf to be used as a platform or using a fan to launch you upwards. If you're looking for a speed-oriented puzzle platformer, then I recommend Ball at Work, the ultimate speedrun platformer. Those were the top 5 free Mac games on Steam you didn't know about. I'll have my playlist of free Steam games you don't know about linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with this ongoing series.